All right, welcome back, everybody, to Pivot Point of View. I'm Destry Millsap along with Becky Pearson. And if you missed last week, go back and watch it. We talked about EPM, a CC loop. It's really great. You'll love it. So go back and watch that episode if you missed it. And today, Becky and I have had a super busy week. Last week, I was at bonus race. Becky was at Nebraska State High School finals and had a lot going on. So we're going to recap that and see where it takes us. So, Becky, tell me about your week a little bit.
Yeah, just before we get started on that, I've already had a couple people reach out to me about our last week's episode about the EPM and the hair testing. So, definitely do go back and listen to that. A lot of people got a lot of value out of that. So, and if you do find value from these episodes, please share it with others. That's how we can spread our word and just help everybody hopefully get a little bit better from the experiences that we've had. But yeah, so we had a very busy week last week. We started off the week on Wednesday in Valentine, Nebraska for the Nebraska High School Rodeo Finals. And they do a back number ceremony, which is really fun. It's fun to see all the kids dressed up and fancy. Did they do that when you were in high school, Destry? Did they do a back number ceremony?
No, ma'am. No, at least not that I can remember. I'm pretty sure we just went and checked in and they said, "Here you go." and and then we went and got it on after that. So, no negative on the back number ceremony. If
Yeah,
they
so
did, I either didn't get invited or didn't go.
yeah, so they do make a big deal of it. It's you get your felt back number. It's kind of like, at the NFR where everybody dresses up. Gracie had this beautiful sage dress that she wore. So yeah, all the kids are dressed up, which is really fun. And then we started out Thursday morning. If you're a cutter in Nebraska, you start out at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning, and she cut. And then she was in the morning performance at 11 a.m. for barrels and poles, and she did what she needed to do as far as the pole bending went. Cutting and barrels were a little lackluster, but that's okay. It was everything went good all in all. Gracie came in the pole bending, ninth in the state, and she moved up to fifth in the state, so she's alternate to nationals. She placed sixth in the first round in cutting and poles and ninth in barrels in that first round. And then the second round, she, I think, got sixth again in cutting, but she won the second round in pole bending, which was really fun. And we had 3.5 inches of rain in between the two rounds. And actually, I think between the first two performances of the first round. And so only in Valentine, Nebraska, can you get 3.5 inches of rain and actually improves the ground conditions. And so Jim Walls was on the tractor, and kudos to him. I tell you what, that guy is so smart when it comes to ground conditions and using the Black Widow. So what he was telling me as I was thanking him for all the hard work he was doing on the ground, what he was telling me he did was he ripped the ground just at the end poles and just at the barrels, but then left it packed when the horses would be running in the straightaways or, in the weave. And so we actually even had a 19-second pole run ran in the sand in Valentine, which is unheard of. Macy Harrington, she has been a stud all season long. She's just dominated. She came into the finals, I think, with 149 points. I mean, almost maxed it out to 150 points. Macy ran a 1989 on in the first round, which was incredible to see. And we had so many 17-second runs on a standard pattern. Again, that's pretty much unheard of in Valentine in that sand. But between all the rain and Jim's hard work on the ground, it was such a fun finals to watch. It was amazing for sure.
That's really cool. A huge shout out to whoever started the back number ceremony and the felt back numbers. That just sounds such like such a cool deal for those kids. I know that we would check in, get our laminated back number, and go on about our business. But that just, man, kudos to whoever is making that special for those kids. And back when my cousins were in high school rodeo, they would have the finals up in Valentine, and it's really cool to see it back up there. Every year that I was in high school was at Hastings, and so definitely a lot different conditions and setup at both of those arenas.
Yeah. It's sometimes it's disheartening when you're at a finals and they're outside and um you get rain between the first two performances, which is what happened. The first performance was good and dry, and I mean, it was, you would think, ideal conditions. And then, yeah, the skies opened up and 3.5 inches of rain before the second performance. And they actually rain delayed the second performance by a couple hours. And there was standing water in the arena when it quit raining. And an hour later, it was beautiful, beautiful conditions. And so, only a big sandy arena can handle that kind of stuff. So that was really amazing to see. And because it is just frustrating when you're competing at a finals to have the weather be a part of it. I mean, that is rodeo. We know that weather is a part of rodeo. But like when it comes to state finals or even the national finals, like I'd love to see the national finals move to an indoor facility so that you don't take, weather shouldn't be a part of determining a national championship, I believe. That's my opinion.
I totally agree. I know there's a lot of states that do have their finals inside, and then, obviously, basically these places that we go, it won't rain for a year, and go ahead and have a finals, and might be the only time it has rained in 2 years. So,
Yeah,
but
I think
no,
Valentine's going to give us the key to the city since it rained both Friday and Saturday. So yeah, they're loving the rain up there. Hmm.
100%, and you're right. Those big sandy pins up there only get better with that much moisture. So, what a really good deal for those kids.
Yeah. And one other thing I want to mention before we stop talking about the state finals is we have a couple pivot point clients that did qualify for nationals. Emmett Sordom in the tie down, his horse. We've worked on his horse all throughout the spring season, so it was really fun to see Emmett qualify. And then Lainey Hoyer is a goat tire that she broke her collarbone April 26th. And she was thankfully in really good shape. I think she was leading the state when she broke her collarbone. Didn't compete all spring, got released right ahead of state finals. But Lainey's a stud. Like they went and got the collarbone pinned right away. And so then so that was ideal conditions. Like she broke it on a Saturday. I think she was having surgery by Tuesday or Wednesday. And she did everything that she was supposed to. They used PEMF on the collarbone to help speed up the fracture healing. And then she got released out of her sling. Oh gosh, I think it was maybe the second weekend in, I can't remember. Sometime in May, she got released out of her sling and she wanted a program. Oh, it was the weekend of Thedford Valentine. So that would have been like May 17th, 18th ish. and she had a 5 pound weightlifting restriction, but we were able to start her on exercises to gain range of motion, to I mean, just using her arm, the weight of her arm, and then she would progress up to a 5 pound limit. And she got second in the first round at state finals with a 7.42, her first run back after her collarbone being fractured. And then she was even faster in the second round. And then she qualified for nationals too. So big shout out to Lainey. I think I might even try to get her on the podcast. I think it'd be kind of fun to listen to her and just the thought process that you go through dealing with an injury. And rumor has it her mom and sister were so sick of how positive she was. So I think it'd be great for us to talk to her about how she managed that mindset and kept that positive attitude. So
Yeah, I mean it's a big part of it is your mindset going through an injury, and it's really hard on. It seems like the younger you are, it really doesn't matter. It's all hard no matter when you have an injury, and the mental game does play a huge part in your recovery. While we're on the subject of shout outs, in a different state, the goat tire that is the first one that I ever put on a program, first goat tying client that I've had. Um, she won state in Kansas high school rodeo and is headed to nationals. So shout out to Brinley Cheatrick on an incredible season. She just tore it up in Kansas and ended up being the year-end winner. She's amazingly talented. I mean, taking no credit for her success. She is amazingly talented and works hard, and she's been on the program for an entire year and has stuck with it. So man, I admire her work ethic along. Holy shit. I just got attacked by a wasp. I just sprayed this thing for wasps. I just got. I was trying to play it cool for as long as I could, and he got right here, and I said, "Nope, not today, Satan."
okay.
Well, let's try that again.
Okay.
So the first girl that I put on a program for goat time, Brinley Teatrick out of Kansas, is a state champion, headed to nationals as well. She had an incredible season. She's been on the program an entire year. I just truly she's incredibly talented. So I truly admire her work ethic along with her talent. And man, shout out to her. Good luck to you at nationals, and good luck to everyone at nationals. And thank you for letting us be a part of your journey.
Amen. Yeah, it's we're only a real small part of it. Those kids work so hard. Uh you know, I say this a lot. Like I am so impressed with the young people of today. Like people people gripe about this new generation or whatever, but honestly, there are so many great kids out there, and it's fun to see them um really excel at what they love doing. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun finals to watch.
I agree. I think kids these days are incredibly resilient and they deal with a ton of stuff that we never had to deal with the social media and everything like that. And those aspects, I mean, that's definitely something that was foreign to us when we were growing up.
For sure. For sure. Well, tell us about bonus race finals.
Oh man, I mean that deal is has been so good to me both years that I've been there. Shout out to Renee Bowling for putting on an amazing event and making it something that is great for vendors and contestants alike. They have a ton of different side events throughout the day and in the evening, along with the barrel race and now the breakaway. So, um, man, shout out to her. That's a ton of work that she puts in, and her staff that helps her works around the clock to make that stuff happen. So, and they always take good care of you too. I mean, I got there and wasn't quite ready to set up yet and stuff, or and was waiting to set up and got to go watch the breakaway a little bit. And so when I first got there, I ended up setting up in the concession stand off the arena. which was great. There's a ton of space there. I have my own built-in waiting area, and you can get a drink and some food and hang out and get worked on, and seemed like a cool deal. But wasn't sure how many people were going to find me there. Well, then one of the ladies that is in with the facility there at Shawnee came and talked to me, and she's like, "Man, if you want, we'll just move you to the front entrance right outside the conference center there, right as you come in, and you can just set up there by the trophy case." And I was like, "All right, man, thank you so much." I mean, totally unexpected, and it was a great weekend from there. I mean, as soon as I put that first person on the table, my table was full until I decided to leave that night. And I was helping my wife in between stuff and in the evening, and kind of before she was drew up early in the morning, so kind of before I'd get started, I wouldn't schedule anybody before that time typically, and unless I need to like do something real quick if they were trying to get ready to run. But I could film her and go back, and I'm telling you, like, once that first person got on that table, I ain't kidding. I didn't eat. I had some drinks with me and stuff, and I just went the entire weekend, and I never got tired, not one time. My hands, they tried to get tired, but you know, doing that and working with those people and getting to network with people and listen to their story about um, what has happened to them, how long it's been going on, and they haven't been able to figure it out or get any relief, and they've been all these places, and then to be able to get them any kind of relief is just so humbling, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to set up and do that. I mean, um, it's just great. And so again, thank you to everyone that stopped by and got worked on, talked to me about stuff. We got some performance people about to start, and I'm excited about that. And then got to see some old clients and met a lot of new ones, and so and it was just such a great week. I could go on and on about how great of a weekend it was. Um, and really just I couldn't believe that every time I go there I'm incredibly busy to the point where like people are signing up and then all of a sudden it's full and I tried to tack some people on the end or whatever. I didn't put in the overtime hours like I did last year. I was trying to help my wife and do some stuff there, so I didn't burn the midnight oil this time like I would have. But anyway, being a trophy barrel husband has its responsibilities too, I guess. and last year I was competing with the vet there to who could stay busy the longest and stay there all night working on stuff, and so he come in there and looks at my schedule. He goes, "My God, what are these banker's hours?" He goes, "That's not even a half a day." And well, to him, he works like there's no telling 15, 20 hour days. I don't know if he ever sleeps. But yeah, Austin Doby, he goes incredibly hard at that deal. And so anyway, if you didn't get worked on there and you wanted to, um, but the schedule was full or whatever, or if you just have questions, please reach out to us and be happy to answer any questions. And then follow us on social media and see where we go next. That's one thing that I want to do this year is definitely go to some more events and help more people. So trying to put some stuff on the calendar now and just see what's out there.
Yeah, you and I have talked about this a lot. Like it's one of the best ways for people to get to know us, and to, if we can get our hands on you, we can give you the most help. Sometimes it just doesn't work, so the virtual stuff works out for that. It gets you started, but yeah, if we can meet up with you, it's the best bet. This weekend I'll be going down to Battle in the Saddle for in McCook. So if you're headed that direction, I do think Dixie has a lot of people entered, and so that should be a nice event to be at. And I don't know where I'm going after that for sure. I think I'm gonna Fourth of July, that's Cowboy Christmas, but I also kind of want to take a little break sometimes when we usually go Fourth of July to the lake instead of to a rodeo. So I guess we're oddballs when it comes to rodeoing.
I forgot to mention also, um, I hadn't had the opportunity to work with many ropers, and most of the stuff that I saw, neck, mid back, low back, hips, pretty standard for most people that ride a lot or compete. And but at bonus race, I got to work with the breakaway ropers, and that was so much fun. I got to help a few girls that have had shoulder issues, and help them get their arm to where they can compete. And man, it worked really well. I mean, I had some kinesio tape with me, and so I was able to work on them, fix their shoulder, work on their neck, make sure their T-spine's working, and really just, I don't know. I have a hard time not going through the whole body because I want to make sure that it's all working together and not getting hung up anywhere. But um, those girls working on their shoulder and neck and mid back, and then being able to tape their shoulder for competition, that was something that I haven't got to do much of, and I've really wanted to. And so, man, just a really cool experience to be able to help those overhead athletes in that way. Because I work with baseball players all the time, and
Mhm.
uh, and so I'm like, man, I'd sure like to work with more ropers and deal with some of those arm issues. And man, when I got the opportunity, I was so excited. And I posted about one of them. I did some cupping, and I don't think I put the taping deal on there that I did. But man, if you have any questions on arm care, if you're a roper and you're listening, or you are married to one, or whatever, man, that was something that I truly truly enjoyed. That was different this year.
Yeah, I think there's so much that we can do for ropers to help with that shoulder mobility and strength. They don't have to deal with you don't have to deal with shoulder pain if you're a roper, like, and limitations and things like that. And it is so important to keep those shoulders healthy and strong. And it is very fun to work with that population as well. Mhm.
Yeah, and those girls, they had some success. There was one gal that I worked on that came to me and could like barely lift her arm. Something had happened during the breakaway that morning,
Mm.
and I mean, she had a bunch more runs to go and could barely lift her arm. So I worked on it forever, what seemed like. And then I taped it. She was up at a rodeo that evening. So she went to the rodeo and Cowgirl toughed it out and was splitting the wind when she left. And I mean,
Mm.
I'm telling you, could barely lift that arm. Um,
Mm.
before I worked on it. And so that was really cool to see her go on and have some success and be able to help her out. And then the gal that ended up winning it, I worked on her too. So but just huge congratulations to Kylie Scribner Fisher on winning that winning the bonus race. I mean, just huge shout out to her and her amazing horse, and I'm glad that she had some success as well.
Yeah, that's why we do what we do, is to be able to help people get to their peak performance. And in rodeo, you don't get paid unless you compete and win.
Don't get it twisted. We don't take any credit for any success that people have, but being able to be a part of helping them feel their best so they can, because I mean, especially bonus race, like they're going for a lot of money, and so to be able to be there and be a part of helping them feel their best and get them to where they feel like they're ready to compete and ride their best. Um, just an amazing opportunity. So again, shout out to everybody that came by and the ones that had success along that weekend. Man, I'm sure glad that uh, you're able to feel your best and have success. I guess I didn't. I guess I didn't mean to rhyme that, but it did.
Yeah, for
Truly,
sure.
that is your
No,
health being the pivot point to your success right there. I mean, we say it all the time. Your health is the pivot point to your success. So
Let's talk about running. I hit a huge milestone this week. It's probably not huge to most people, but it is for me. I'm not a runner. And I actually the other day ran a mile without stopping. So that was huge for me because I haven't done that since freaking high school. And so everything just felt good. I had good wind. My legs felt strong. I had no pain. So you can be 50 some years old and start to be a runner. And you're running. And so, yeah, you liking it?
I tell you what, I think people take running for granted, and one, how cardiovascular health helps you as a rider and gets you in shape. Because I mean, especially like you think, um, like if you ride a lot or for a lot of hours or anything like that, I mean, like you got to be in shape. You do. And cardiovascular health is incredibly important in that. And so just building that resilience in your systems with running is a great way to do it. And you know, after a couple knee surgeries that I've had, I had a whole new outlook on running because go ahead and take yourself out of the running for survival or just any type of running for, you know, 4 to 6 months or whatever it is. And obviously you start doing stuff before that a little bit and starting your running program and stuff like that, depending on what you had done. But go ahead and just have that taken away from you for a while and wondering if you're going to be able to do it again and if you're
Mhm.
going to have pain when you're doing it. And so for me, like after my last knee surgery in 23, like I really haven't been able to run without some sort of pain since until a month and a half ago. And so that to me was a huge milestone in, oh, I can go for a run and I run hills. Like I don't mess around. You can't cheat when you run a hill. You just can't.
Mhm.
And when you're in a bunch, first of all, it's really hilly around my house. And so, you know, depending on where you're at, you might not have a hill near you in Nebraska unless you're
I
in the
don't.
sand hills. Um
Mhm.
but anyway, being able to do that and not have pain was an incredible feeling. And like from start to finish, no pain. And I think everyone takes
Mhm.
it for granted. You know, any just movement in general, just living without having pain. I think we all take it for granted until it happens. And then you're
Mhm.
like, then you don't remember what it felt like to feel good after that.
Right.
So,
So, what was the turning point to be able to run without pain for you? What do you think it was?
well, so since my last knee surgery, it seemed like I couldn't barely do any type of dynamic training very well, you know? And so that has been the focal point of my workouts is getting back to being more explosive again and building that plyometric type of endurance and fixing myself that way. Because like after that surgery, when it was time to start doing that stuff again, like my knee would swell up and I was like, man, I don't know why I'm doing this because what am I going to need to use it for in that way? Well, turns out there's always something, you know, when you're cowboying or whatever, there you're going to have a fast twitch muscles every now and then. And especially like roping, I think that's what took me so long to get back to feeling like I could get with my horse and stay with him again because I just stopped plyometric training altogether and didn't have a fast twitch muscle in my body. It just seemed like I was always behind. And you know, my core was strong and my legs were strong, but I just didn't have that explosiveness like I was used to. So I started I looked into some stuff and some different ways of doing it to not blow my knee up and and started a progression and had success with it. And so I think that's what the turning point was for being able to run pain free. I also was on creatine for a little while, which was interesting. Um, I got incredibly strong in that time, but I also gained a lot of weight. So, but I was a lot stronger, and I think that I just didn't have the muscle mass like I used to in general. And
Mhm.
so I watched that scale go up, and I was kind of freaked out, really freaked out. And but at the same time, I was actually seeing gains in my strength, like incredible gains in my strength. So,
Mhm.
and I was taking it responsibly. I mean, like 5 grams a day and consistently, and I had great cognition and stuff like that. But I didn't really like the water retention part of it, and maybe I just needed to try a different kind. Maybe there was something in the kind that I was using that was irritating my gut a little bit or something. But
Mhm.
when I was on it, my knees actually were hurting, and I think it was because I was just holding fluid in them and not being able to diffuse that at all effectively.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I think just having that extra strength really made him. And after I got off of it, my knees were hurting, whatever, and I got busy, and I took like a week, 10 days off, and ever since, my knee has not hurt not one time. The other one hasn't hurt not one time. Not that I've ever had much of an issue, other than my other leg seems to carry most of the load because of this one having the issues that it's had. So, but I ain't had a knee pain one riding or anything, and so I must have finally just got the right kind of fuel going in my body to
Mhm.
where I built up the muscle mass I needed and don't have to. Now they can take more of that stress.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think the strengthening piece of it is so important. And not that you didn't know that as an athletic trainer, you did, but to the extent to that you needed it to improve your knee pain, and getting the probably the correct muscles stronger, to help that kneecap track right and things like that probably all was a big part of that. And I think that's a big part of why for me, I've always hated running, and I was really glad that you did that podcast episode with Drew Stew because he talked about, yeah, like nobody loves to run, and you just have to make yourself do it. And so, a lot of my workouts are in the gym, but I choose the elliptical machine instead of the treadmill. But honestly, this time of year, I hate going to the gym because I hate being inside to work out. And so, there's just been here lately, I'm like, I am gonna go running. We take the dogs with us to the rodeos. So, I go running with the dogs in the mornings. Which is really good for me mentally to do that. And I did that the whole time we were in Valentine and I loved it. And so I'm like, okay, I've got to carry this over when I get home. And so I was fit because I had been working out, but I hadn't been running that long. And so yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it up. And no, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna try. I am going to keep it up, and I will be running more. I may even try to sign up for a road race. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll have to look to see what's on the books.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Maybe they have a cowboy road race. You run the 5K in your boots or something. Boy, there'd be some meaty feet after that.
No, thank you.
Run the 5K in your boots and spurs. Anybody that's been out in the hills, they've already had to do it if they got bucked off and
Yeah.
they're, between Thedford and Valentine and you get bucked off, there ain't nothing close to anything most of the time there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I like running to me, you touched on it, mental. I mean, just the mental clarity that comes from running. It's more than the physical stuff, but just being like, I started running during COVID and just the mental clarity, excuse me, the mental clarity that I had during getting attacked by everything, flies and wasps. But anyway, just the mental clarity I had while I was running um, was something I hadn't experienced in a long time, and so it went past the obviously cardiovascular and being in shape and stuff
Mhm.
like that. For me, just the being able to clear your head in that way and think about stuff and work through it as you're running just really made a huge difference for me.
Yeah. Well, I put my ear pods on and I still listen to the stuff that's like, get off your ass and run. Because
That's hardcore.
yeah, I need somebody yelling at me to keep going.
You are sure enough hardcore when it comes to that. I mean, and look, I'm pretty like when I work out, my music's different. Like you're probably gonna look at me and be like, "Wait, you listen to that? Like it's that kind of music." But when I run, it's really not. I mean, I'll listen to anything when I
Yeah.
run, depending on how much I need to get some stuff out or how motivated I need to be. Also, I found a new love for the song Money for Nothing, and that gets me pumped up. I like sprinted up this hill when it came on. So if you need a great motivation song, Money for Nothing, man, turn it on.
Get
When
it
that
on.
beat drops, whew, so
Cool. All right, what's you got anything going on this next week that you got on the books?
oh no, I just got some contracting going on. Um, hopefully can go enter some ropings this weekend if it's been really hard to keep my horses rode down, and we're having like record rains down here,
Mhm.
and seems like it's that way everywhere. It's nice that we have rain. It's kind of getting to the point where if it don't stop raining, we ain't gonna have hay anyway. So, um, you know, hoping for a long enough pause that we can get dried out enough and get our hay up. But yeah, I mean, I've been letting that beat me a little bit and not getting to work my colt and stuff like that like I want. We did send the colt off for 30 days that we had that's not had much riding or any really. So I'm excited to get him back and get to going on him. Hopefully it'll be drier when he comes back.
Yeah. Yeah, I have two colts right now off to Jade Trump. So both of them are ain't seen nothing yet colts, and one of them, if you guys have followed me very long, Fonzie is the buckskin colt that was in ICU, and we almost lost him when he was born. And he is a standout. And then his roommate, Jade said does not have a love for learning. So he might not be quite as standoutish, but I think he is progressing. So it's kind of fun to listen to her updates on those colts. And but my goal is that neither one of them come home. So we will be offering them for sale here shortly. And because I really don't need to do colts anymore. This is probably my last baby that I had born here this year. That yeah, I'm gonna not breed back this year. I need to cut back a little bit on the number of horses around here. So
Just been collecting them.
I have. Well, I have sold some, but yeah, it's the colt deal is hard when you don't have help. And yes, I have Gracie around here, but she's so stinking busy with sports and activities and everything that it's hard to have her help me with those colts. And so and I want to be able to do some things when she graduates. I want to be able to go travel a little bit more, and it's really hard to travel when you got a bunch of mouths around here to feed. So, hopefully I'll get it down to 4 that I can fit in my horse trailer and I can head south after she graduates. So, that'll be fun.
Yeah, come on, wherever you're going, Oklahoma, Arizona,
Yeah.
gypsy life.
Yeah, just
Yes.
winterize the house and head south, right? And see where the trail takes me.
Yeah. Well, this colt that we just sent off is the first one that my wife and I raised together. So we're incredibly excited. It's out of a mare that has come from the bloodlines that I grew up with and was part of our horse program growing up. So I'm really excited for this colt. Um, it's pretty special when you get to raise one of your own, and whether they're
Mhm.
any good at it or not, you always think they're going to be, and doesn't always turn out that way. But he's gentle and he wants to get along, and he backs out of the trailer, so he backs out of a slant trailer. So we're already kind of ahead of the game there. So
There you
anyway,
go.
I'm excited to get him back and just see what he's like. You always just wonder what they're like, and he's a pretty mover out in pasture, and you just picture yourself on them when they're moving around out there, and so and I just can't wait. I really truly enjoy that. Just like I enjoy helping an athlete or whatever. You see how something's moving or what they can do at the start of things to where they can be when they finish, and I really love that part of things.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely it's what hopes and dreams are built on is that young horse. And I feel like at this point in my life I'm ready to help somebody else get their hopes and dreams to come alive from the good mares that we've ran in the past. And because all of our colts that we have around here now are from proven mares. And um hopefully people appreciate them, and hopefully they'll be good for them. And so we'll we'll see what the future holds on them.
I think that that's what's been the most exciting for me. We have a gelding for sale right now that is a barrel horse and head horse, and we have a girl running him for us, trying to sell him. And I think we enjoy watching her run him almost more than we ever enjoyed doing it ourselves. I mean, just watching those horses go on and do stuff with other people just really gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling inside. And same thing when we raise Aussies and those pups go to their new home, and you get pictures and videos of them at their new home, and
Mhm.
people love them. And so finding the right fit for that horse and for that person is a huge deal. You just want them to get along and have success with each other. So I think that's the best part about raising, training, selling horses, whatever, is watching them go on and do stuff with other people.
Yeah. Amen. It's why we do it. It's why because you don't do it for the money. You dang sure don't do it for the money. So you do it to raise nice horses that people will like and enjoy and hopefully be successful on and whatever they want to do on them. And that's if finding the right match is the most important thing in my mind.
And
So
again, thank you to everyone who came and saw us at Nebraska State High School finals and bonus race finals. Man, we just thoroughly enjoy doing this and helping you guys, and we appreciate all the opportunities to be able to do so. So, follow us for where we're going to go next. Like and subscribe us on YouTube and social media so you can know where we're headed. And feel free to reach out to us if you have a question or want to schedule an appointment yourself. Feel free to reach out to us through social media or get our phone number from somebody. Go to our website, pivotpointequine.com, and that's the best way to get a hold of us and get something set up. So thank you all for listening, and as always, let your health be the pivot point to your success.